Okay, we have about another minute before we're going to start, but I wanted to go ahead and welcome those of you who are already here. Still got people coming in.
Hello, thank you.
Hi, welcome. Okay, it is 4 o'clock, so can we back up to the first slide there, Jessica, please? Thanks. So welcome to all of you that were able to join us today. We appreciate you taking the time to learn a little bit more about the RING program and specifically the spring semester that is going to kick off on January 6th. My name is Catherine McGilvray, and I'm the program coordinator for RING. I'm the one who's been emailing you and your students just to get everybody, situated and ready to join the class when it starts next semester. We can go to the next slide, please, Jessica. So this is our team, and our instructors at the top in the top row are Deb Gray, Amelia Adkins, and James Jones. Unfortunately, James Jones is the only one who was able to join us today, or I should say, fortunately, James was able to join us today. But Amelia and James are the ones that are going to be teaching in our spring semester. And as I mentioned, I'm Catherine, I'm the program coordinator. We are also joined by Karen Brown, our RING counselor, and Jessica Pockris is our support staff. Next slide, please. And so I'm going to start by just giving you guys a little bit of background on the RING program. We've been running the course since 2021. And as you can see here, we've had nearly 200 students complete the course. And that includes both our pilot course as well as full year, single semester and summer sessions. And you can also see that we've tended to see that our enrollment numbers grow over the course of time. And the map there shows that we've had students in all of these states as well as Puerto Rico. And of course, we want to eventually have students from every state who have completed the course with us. Oh, yes, I should have added. I'm sorry. We will have a time for questions at the end of the slideshow, but feel free to drop anything in the chat as we go through. If you have any questions, we'll try to address them as they come up. Sorry about that. And next slide, please. James, I believe this is where you're going to take over for me.
I do believe it is. Hi, I'm James Jones. I just want to give you a quick overview of what RING is and how it's going to be structured, et cetera. And RING stands for Regions Investing in the Next Generation. And it was really born from the realization that there was not a lot of quality, accessible cybersecurity instruction available. So, through a grant from the NSA and with help from a coalition of universities and nonprofit organizations across the country, RING was developed. We have really two main purposes. One is to train educators across the school to develop or to deliver RING in their classrooms. And then the other part, which is where you come in at, is our centralized program where we teach the course online. And we really feel strongly about this. We wanted to provide this for students in rural areas, under-resourced areas, homeschooled, or attending schools without a cyber program. It's open to any high school student across the United States. We wouldn't exclude anybody, but our main focus is you. You go to the next slide. We host RING through Canvas. That's our learning management system, and some of your students may already be familiar with that. But we take the content of the course and break it down into modules, which are topics in cybersecurity and like units. We have what we call a Unit 0, which is just an introduction. What is cybersecurity? How does this fit you? And then we start off after that with ethics. And we do that because we feel like that's foundational to anybody interested in cybersecurity as possibly as a career. A strong sense of ethics is very, very important. And from there, we launch out into just other topics in cybersecurity, like establishing trust, networking, data security, systems security, adversarial thinking, and risk. Next slide, please. All right. And here's how it's going to be structured. And we try to structure it like, kind of like it would be a class in a traditional brick and mortar school, we have a weekly structure, and usually on by the latest Monday morning, but sometimes Sunday night, we'll post all the week's assignments, and we'll break them down by day just to help some students stay on track that need that structure. We'll post our lectures and our assignments and things like that for each week, and there'll usually be on average, about 5 assignments per week. The deadlines for each one of those assignments are there at the end of the week. Saturday by 10 o'clock is kind of our deadline. But having it on Canvas, if a student gets behind, they can still access all the lectures and assignments in order to catch up. It's asynchronous. We'll never meet all together as a class, but we encourage students to stay with that structure just because it helps. Now, they don't have to. They can still break it up however they want to. I do have students who will do everything for the week in the first couple of days. I'll have some students who wait toward the end of the week and do all of the assignments, because we try to be flexible, because life happens. There's different obligations, different extracurriculars that students get involved in. So they always have that opportunity to catch up. Summative assessments like labs, projects, and tests, they're going to happen about once every 2 weeks. Hands-on activities, graphic organizers, and discussion posts are assigned throughout the week. So it'll look a lot like a traditional class, but within that structure, the student can adapt it around their schedule. Next slide. Now, there are a lot of challenges, of course, when we're in a virtual environment, since we don't meet face-to-face every day. So what we need is frequent student input and feedback. That's going to be essential. We have to keep the lines of communication open, and I'll say something about that again later on as well. And I think you'll find that we are, as instructors, are adaptable. A lot of our students are taking this on as an extra in addition to all the other stuff that they have going on. So we are very adaptable. As long as we know there's adaptations, we can provide, like lightening the workload, having a little bit more flexible on the due dates and things like that. But we really have to keep those lines of communication open. Next slide. All right. How they're going to be assessed? Well, they'll be assessed formatively and summatively. Your formative assessments are like your daily work, graphic organizers, and activities. And the summative assessments are like your labs, projects, and exams. And those will be ongoing throughout the course. Missing assignments, we grade as a 40%. And just because, again, of the nature of everybody's schedules being different and obligations being different, we don't feel it's fair to give a 0 necessarily on an assignment, because that can really hurt the grade, can really hurt the confidence, really hurt a lot. So we'll cut it off at a 40% is what missing assignments. And I tell my students, and I'll remind them, of course, when the class starts, that if the due date passes, they'll get a 40%. That doesn't mean that's set in stone. They can always, like we said earlier, come back and make that up for a better grade. Formative assessments, the ones that are assigned throughout the week, the activities and things, if they submit something and they get a grade they don't like, we provide feedback on what was missing, what could have been better, and they do have one opportunity to redo the work and resubmit it and get a better grade, if their work shows, that they took in our feedback and changed things accordingly. For each summative assessment, like a test, they're allowed one retake if they don't do as well as they wanted to do. But the retake would be different than the initial test. Okay, next slide. But again, communication. That's going to be the biggest challenge and the biggest thing we need to be up on. And we'll contact with students through email and through Canvas, and definitely want to encourage the students to reach out to us. We like it to be where they have just as much access to us as they would in a traditional classroom. So if they need help they have questions or needs any support for anything, all they have to do is reach out to us. We have opportunities for students to attend virtual office hours. So they have that as if they were in a traditional classroom. And as far as contacting parents, we'll do that through email. We're here to support your student. So you might hear from us about announcements in the program, notes about your particular student, any concerns or problems. And we would definitely encourage you to reach out to us the same way. If you want to check in on their progress or you have a question about something that's going on, that's when we want you to contact us. So I think that's going to just about wrap up my part. Ms. Brown, I think you're up next. I think you're muted right now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mrs. Brown. I'm the Ring Counselor. Thank you all for joining us today. So first of all, I want to say the desired goal of the Ring Virtual School Counseling Program is to be just readily accessible to you as parents and to your students as they go through the Ring program. There are different things that I help with throughout the semester or the whole year, depending on what you are enrolled in. But some of the things that I can help with are academic advisement, different career interest, college planning. Mostly I do transcript requests and I send information out to your local schools about how you can possibly gain high school credit for the Ring course. So if you're interested in that, please do not hesitate to reach out to me because I'm sending information all the time to different high schools, to counselors, and giving them the necessary information for them to decide if they are willing to provide credit for that, then your student may be able to attain that credit on their high school transcript as well. So I can help you with that. Also personal and social development, and then as I said, credit attainment, which is big. I also have like weekly like hours that if you have questions about anything or if you need help with something, then you can go to, and as on my screen, there is a Calendly link, and you can click there and you can schedule an appointment with me, and I will get that notification, and I'll be glad to meet with you about anything. Also, mainly, I communicate through email. I also work another full-time job, so I do this part-time. And so usually within 24 to 48 hours, I will respond to your email. But please reach out for whatever it is. You may also get emails from me. Sometimes I help the teachers if they have a student that is falling behind or whatever, then I will also reach out to you as well as the teacher. And then if needed, then you might, I hope I don't have to send an email to you, but if we see that your student is falling behind and we want to make you aware of that, just so you maybe can push them along or help with whatever is needed, then you might also see an email from me as well. But I am happy to help. The Ring program is absolutely awesome. I think your kids will really enjoy it, learn a lot about cybersecurity. And if I can help you in any way, just let me know.
Hey everyone, my name is Jesse Hairston, and I'm the director of the Ring program here. And I just wanted to pop in and talk about one of our extracurricular activities that we offer in addition to the Ring course. So on top of the class, we do have something called the Ring Student Organization, or the Student Org as we affectionately call it, which is really an optional way that students can participate. And if they want to learn a little bit more about cybersecurity, maybe engage with a community a little bit more, this is kind of the avenue that we offer for that. So Jessica, if you can just tab over to those bullets there. So first of all, we offer monthly guest speaker series that we run, and we've been running for the past couple of years now. Essentially, every single month, we will bring in a professional who works in the field of cybersecurity to come in and talk about their job, or sometimes we'll bring in someone to do some demonstrations for the students. And this is about a 20-minute session that's online once a month that the students will join, and then they have an opportunity to ask questions from that professional at the end of that session. We also work with an organization called the 502 Project, which is operated out of the University of Florida, that runs a moderated Discord community that is available for the students to sign up to be able to chat with other students. Again, that's an optional service that students can engage in if you would like for them to. In addition, student org participation will open up the students to compete in our CTF, or Capture the Flag, events that we have. This is a chance for students to practice the information that they learn throughout the Ring course and be able to apply it in an online challenge to compete for prizes. So we recently had our first pilot of this Ring CTF event and sent out, or currently sending out, some medals for that right now. And then finally, we also use the student org as a platform just to share all kinds of opportunities and activities happening in cybersecurity all over the nation with these students. And we make sure to highlight things like the Gen Cyber camps that happen every summer all over the country, as well as telling them about internship opportunities for high school students or for students that just graduated from high school. So keep in mind, again, the student org is an optional way for them to engage if they want to just kind of explore their interest in cybersecurity a little bit further in an extracurricular activity. All right, back to you, Catherine.
All right, thanks everyone. So I hope, over through this brief overview that you guys are getting excited about all the things that this course has to offer your student. And there are ways that, of course, we would love for you to help us support the Ring project. And a couple of those are listed here. First of all, as Jesse mentioned, as part of the student org and as part of your students' class, they have the opportunity to listen to guest speakers. If you know someone who you think would be a good fit as a guest speaker, please reach out to us. I will also separately email you a link for our guest speaker form, and you can certainly distribute that if you know somebody who would be appropriate to talk to high school students about cybersecurity and careers and that sort of thing. Second, we always want to recruit students. So if you know of any other students who would like to participate, we are still accepting students for the spring course. And like I mentioned, we also have a summer session, and we're currently enrolling for our full year 2025-2026 class as well. So if you know of anyone else who might be interested in one of those options, please visit our website. There's an enrollment form on there. Likewise, we provide, in addition to the classes that we teach online, we also offer the Ring curriculum to educators in the United States and territories. So if you know of a school or a teacher or a guidance counselor that would like to have this on their radar, again, let us know. They can fill out an educator request form, and as long as we can prove that they are actually affiliated with the school, we will give them access to all of the curriculum, and it is totally free. They can export it and use as much or as little of it as they see fit. The next slide is going to have a couple of QR codes that you can scan right now. And again, I'll be sharing all of this information with you, and you know how to reach me by email. Jessica, if you can go to the next slide. Thanks. Yeah, there are those QR codes. I'll pause here for a minute if you want to scan those and save them. And then next slide, please. This is some contact information. Amelia and James are going to be the teachers for the spring semester, so your student is in one of their classes. I sent the Canvas invites out last week and followed up with both of you to let you know, both you and your student, to let you know to look for that. If you're having any trouble getting into the Canvas course, please email me and I will work with you to get in. But these are the teachers that are going to be teaching our spring semester. There's Karen's information as the guidance counselor, and then of course my email address as well, but you should already have that in your inbox somewhere. Next slide, please. All right, we tried to keep this short because we know you're busy, but I am happy to answer any questions that you guys have. You can either unmute yourselves and ask, or you can drop them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer anything you have. Did we do that good of a job? No questions? Absolutely. The first question, will you have access to how your student is doing? Certainly, the teachers and guidance counselor will be in touch with you. And you are also, of course, welcome to reach out to them and check in. Minimum age students. So this class is geared primarily towards high school students, right? We have occasionally let in 8th graders, but we do try to stick to grades 9 through 12 for our students for this class. When do we start the assessments? I'm going to let one of our teacher answer that, actually, James.
The very first day. I'm kidding. The assessments will start, we'll, like we said, we introduce and like a unit 0, we'll be in that a few days, and then we start into ethics. So you could really, as far as assignments go, they'll start really quick, right at January the 6th or after. But the first, I guess you would say, quiz or exam, if that's the question, probably a week after that or 2 weeks after that. And you can expect that a summative assessment roughly, every 2 weeks.
Thanks, James. And Jesse also clarified that we do allow students the summer following their 8th grade year. So entering 9th grade. Can this course be taken more than once, or is it a one and done? It is a one and done for now. It's a foundational course, and the idea is that we get the students excited about cybersecurity so that they're interested in pursuing it in other classes and opportunities down the road.
And I can answer the student org portion of that question. So currently we're revamping our student org and making some changes inside of it. But our plan currently is to have an alumni section of the student org so that students can still have access to some of the important resources after they leave the Ring course. So things like access to summer camps that they may still be available to attend, or events that we can link them to.
Okay, a couple more questions popped up. How frequent and long are the classes? So as James explained, Mr. Jones explained earlier, Simon, and you can jump in here, please.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of it depends on how they want to do it. If they take it like we have it, like mostly have it scheduled, daily lecture portion is roughly 15 minutes or so, and then the activity is really kind of up to the student. We find that on average per week, they're looking at about a 5-hour investment, I guess, for the semester course per week. So I would say roughly an hour a day, but it's pretty variable. I know that's probably a terrible answer, very vague, but it depends on how they want to break it up, I guess you would say. Where they want to do it all in one day, then it would take a little while. But if they want to just go through it day by day, then you're probably looking at, like I said, 10, 15 minutes if they watch the lecture, and then assignments, probably about another 30 minutes with that.
And I'm going to go ahead and piggyback on that and just clarify. So because we have students across the country in different time zones, the class is taught, as was previously mentioned, asynchronously. Now, that doesn't mean self-paced. So there are deadlines. And again, as Mr. Jones said, we will work with you if any of those deadlines are creating a problem, because we also understand, that there's spring break and there's vacation and there's jobs and other extracurricular activities. So we really want to make sure that, that your student is getting the best experience that they can. So to accommodate, people all over the country, we can't offer it, everybody sit down at 4 o'clock and participate. But that also doesn't mean that, you can take a year for the single semester course. We want to make sure that they're completing the coursework in a timely manner. And then somebody else asked about Canvas access. So if your student didn't receive the invite, especially if they used a school email address, it was likely blocked by the school, which makes perfect sense. They're trying to protect you. So if you're having issues and you haven't seen it, you've checked your spam folder, sometimes the emails or the invites go to the promotions folder. You can email me at that email address, ring@caecommunity.org, and I'll work with you to make sure that they can get into the class before it starts. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you all for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time. If you have any follow-up questions after this, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And if I can't answer it, I will certainly direct you to somebody who can. And we're really excited to welcome your students next semester and get this thing kicked off.